Hello again and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today here we have a match of Goopy versus Ragnar on this lovely tropical map here. As we zoom in, we have Ragnar starting on the bottom left hand corner and Goopy starting in the top right. Both have started on land and are prepping for a lovely naval fight that we are about to see. So Ragnar has mentioned that this is the Bar League game, week 1, game 1. So it's a good, interesting map and a good, interesting matchup that we have. Now we see the first difference in builds here. Ragnar going straight into the water, building a bunch of wins. Whereas Goopy is deciding to get a bot lab up on land instead, building a couple of engineers and a resbot so that he can build his economy on this little island here, whereas Ragnar is going straight into the water to try and get as much space as he can. Now, one thing to note about this map, which we saw in a tournament a while ago, the area in the middle, this section of water, is important for the commander, that this is actually not deep enough to hide the commander. So if a commander pushes into this middle, but he is going to be exposed, which is a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. I'm not sure if it's high enough for him to use his main gun or not, or to de-gun, but he can definitely be shot at by boats. So that's important to note. There are plenty of mexes on land here, as we see both islands have triple mechs in each corner. There's also a triple mechs at the bottom and top, and a triple mechs on the island in the middle. So it'll be interesting to see if any of the players are gonna care about that at all. And we will see most of the forces really channel along the top and along the bottom here. The middle is fairly contestable, but it's open to different sides. So obviously Ragnar can go like this to flank any forces that are at the bottom, and obviously Goopy can do the same. Now, differences in starts here. We see the resbot reclaimed the bot lab, which gave Goopy plenty of metal and energy to invest into the naval shipyard. The resbot is also reclaiming a bunch of trees, which is also giving him loads and loads of energy. Whereas Ragnar here, on the shore, building wins with his commander, because obviously he has no land engineers, so he would be forced to build tidal, which, if we look at a wind, is 45 to 175 energy, whereas a tidal is 85 to 250. So they are a lot more expensive, and in this instance, generate less energy than the wind, at least currently, is doing. So we see 2 assault boats out from Ragnar, and we have a patrol boat anti-air skater from Goopy out, with the first dolphin out from Goopy as well. Now, Navy tends to be a bit slower with the fighting. Obviously, they don't travel that fast. We're about to see the first fight of this. Surprisingly, I thought that the supporters would easily win out against the skater, but that does not seem to be the case. The lovely little fishies swimming along. And this little guy manages to get past those 2 dolphins. That was lucky, but Goopy's commander is walking directly towards that unit. And he's going to kill that very easily. And there we go. Now, we're seeing the first couple of torpedoes in the water. Not torpedoes, sorry, submarines in the water. And the limit of what harassing you can do with boats is obviously all the mexes are underwater. so you are limited as to what you can do. We saw a attempted self-destruct there from Goopy. Reason for that is obviously boats have a lot of metal in them. He does not want to give that metal to it, but so by self-destructing, it's going to limit what metal is left in the wreck when it explodes. So we'll quickly look at the stats at this point. You can see that metal produced Goopy is actually in the lead. Both have done a very good job at not accessing any metal. The energy excess, though, Goopy has accessed a lot with 21k or 22k now worth of energy excess. We're seeing a quick bit of harassing on engineers on both sides as Goopy loses one and Ragnar loses one, but Ragnar manages to get the mechs built just in time though. Now what I was about to say is you're limited on what the harassing you can do. All these mechs are underwater. You can't hit them with boats. You need the submarines to do that. So mechs expansion is actually relatively safe. Until the submarines start coming out, that is. And we start to see the submarines. Luckily there's no friendly fire there, otherwise they would have just hit each other. Still see this little skater up at the top, doing a good job. Now, commander positions. Very big difference here. Ragnar, still on his island at the back. Goopy, however, walking forward with his comm. Getting these underwater mechs, maybe setting up on this land area over here. Meanwhile, his engineers that he built at the beginning are churning out loads of winds, getting some energy converters, doing a great job. Whereas Ragnar is forced to do them himself. We see the first Riptide assault frigate out. They have a lot of damage to them, so he needs to obviously be careful of those. Surprising no oppressors though, which is the torpedoes, which will obviously deal with those submarines to the south. Goopy getting some good aggression on Ragnar here, getting some mexes, getting a substantial amount of submarine, considering he killed one here and one further back, but no losses as of yet. However, Goopy in a bit of a iffy spot here as he's a bit outnumbered. But he gets his comm underwater. As we mentioned now, because he has no submarines, they can't do anything. And Goopy brings his reinforcements to bear, cutting out the enemy forces. Now, these assault frigates are made to deal with the corvettes. That is their purpose in life. So, we see some good harass from the torpedoes here, just outside of Ragnar's base. However, the amount of torpedoes and subs there is going to be way too much for those three, and they die. So, at this point in time, it's looking a bit iffy for Goopy, as he is definitely behind on the vehicle front. He has 6 and the 1, but he's not paying attention, and he is going to lose that Riptide for 1 dolphin. Well, 2 dolphins, technically, because the one there and one here. I'd say that was a fairly good trade. The subs, just building subs. Is he going to build anything but subs? No. Doesn't care to build anything else yet. The issue with torpedoes is they just shoot in straight lines. We see these are maybe going to get round here and cause some problems. Quite easy to dodge torpedoes if you're paying attention. We see Goopy still here, not replacing that engineer that was expanding and getting this triple mechs. Kind of a waste there. Fairly easy to defend for the amount of submarines he has. Goopy, rather than going into the middle with his commander, deciding to go up here. Oh, interesting. We're about to see some hovercraft come into play. Now, that's going to be useful, because he'll be able to go onto the land section up here, and Ragnar will not be able to get him out. Okay, we're seeing the end of the assault corvettes, these little light gunboats from Ragnar here, and moving fully to assault frigates. Lots of torpedoes going off here. One thing to note that these submarines can only shoot forward, so if they're running away, they can't shoot anything. Well, these guys are going to get obliterated by all these assault frigates. Yeah. Not going to have enough damage to kill that engineer. Bit of a mistake there by Goopy. Goopy's comm now in a bit of a risky position, as he is very far forward and there is 5 assault frigates making their way up to him, and he has no submarines to stop them. Deciding to chase down the submarines that are trying to get around with all of those. I don't think these fast attack hovercrafts are really going to do much against the assault frigates. They're basically going to get one hit. Although their speed is making it somewhat difficult, but still not enough. Saying that though, if these assault frigate, not assault frigates, apologies, hovercrafts can get on land and get round Ragnar, they can do a lot of damage to all of his energy economy, because Ragnar's purely on those winds. He has no tidals at all. So if he can deal with that, that's substantial. We're seeing some offshore torpedo launchers being built here, along with the submarines. Gonna force Goopy to think about going another way. Can't really push into that. Meanwhile, the assault frigates are under attack. It still does not have enough to kill that. It's a shame that there's so many that are really low health, but they're not going to get taken out. Goopy really needs to get control of that eco there. That is, well, 400 mil, not as much as we'd hope. He will get that engineer though. Is he gonna get it? Oh, he gets one. Gonna get the second. Gets the second. Now, bear in mind, those vehicles are a lot more expensive. 410 as opposed to the 165. So in theory, you can get 3 dolphins for the cost, metal cost this is, of 1 Riptide. However, Riptides, I mean, it's the energy cost. That's half the energy cost. So it's like, well, you can get 2 dolphins energy cost wise for the cost of a single Riptide. I feel like this hovercrafts aren't really gonna help much right now. Need to see some more torpedoes, submarines coming out. Goopy in a bit of a tough spot with his commander here. 2 with the D-gun. Goopy's at 40%, 35, 30, 20, 10, 7, 5. 5% health, manages to get away up the hill. Very close call there for Goopy. Left it a bit last minute to run away there. Meanwhile, the scouts did manage to get in and are causing some havoc, whilst Ragnar's boats are about to get destroyed by all of the submarines. Ragnar has nothing to deal with them. However, they can outrun the submarines, so I think he's fine for now. Ragnar still with nothing to deal with the submarines. He could be getting a couple of destroyers there. Would deal with the problem. Big damage being caused here by Goopy's submarines. A lot of damage. Ragnar being forced right back. Lots of damage. So, what is Ragnar gonna do? So, Ragnar with an air factory. What is his plan? What is his plan? As we zoom out quickly to get a good overlook, Ragnar, although on the back foot somewhat, he's doing a great job at dealing with taking control of the economy on the map. We quickly check the stats here. We can see that Ragnar is ahead by 4k metal, which is, you know, quite a bit of metal. However, energy produced, we can see that Goopy is substantially ahead on energy, but he is needing that for the amount of units he's building. We see a little harass here in the bottom corner whilst we look at the stats. This Seeker doing a great job at killing all of this land economy. It's a great job Goopy there with that early hovercraft doing a great job at harassing Ragnar, keeping out of range. Yeah, meanwhile, units killed and units lost. We see, you know, Goopy's doing a great job at killing a lot more units than Ragnar is able to do. And this, oh, unlucky doesn't get that wind in time. Meanwhile, I see two battles going on at the same time here. The Ragnar's Riptides still on the go, while the submarines from Goopy get pushed into the corner and get absolutely wiped out. He does manage to kill the economy in the corner though. Dolphins coming in here, attempting to clean up these Riptides, although I don't believe there's enough Dolphins there to cause enough of a problem. Does get one engineer trying to get the flanking damage off with the Dolphins. Unfortunately, he's not. He kills one, but that's it. Gets two, but there's still three left. The Ragnar at 50% health there from one submarine. Goopy with a very, very forward naval factory here, just pumping out submarines. Did not want to risk reclaiming that hovercraft factory. It does only give 500 metal, but he does need metal right now. Surprisingly, we're not seeing any resurrection subs, Grim Reapers here. They are very expensive on energy, but there is a substantial amount of metal on the field right now. As we just quickly check, we're looking at 5k metal in total reclaim. So it is interesting. Goopy here in a bit of an awkward spot as we see the 5 submarines approaching on the factory. He does have the torpedo defense. That sub is going to basically get insta-popped. Goopy now having to run out of the water before he dies. That torpedo defense is going to blow up straight away, and Goopy is going to lose another factory. The self-D is not going to go off in time. Fish died next to it as well. Very unfair for the fish, as it had nothing to say about being there. 4 submarines still alive at this point, pushing right into Goopy's main base. Dolphins still being built by Goopy. I mean, oh, we're seeing some bombers coming out. No air defense out yet. There is a couple of these skaters that are air defense on them. No air defense built by Goopy though on his base. So if he loses that energy, he's about to lose those 3 engineers. Looking a bit iffy here for Goopy as these submarines just keep piling in. 2 engineers lost. Torpedo defense will do a decent job. 1 submarine left, that will get cleared up quite well. These Dolphins here trying to get harassed, get to the factory, but it just isn't going to do it. Especially now with shurikens on the field. The EMPs are going to stop them, and the assault frigates come in and block the move. This is not looking good for Goopy. He needs to really transition out of the Dolphins, because these assault frigates are just absolutely destroying them. What can he do? He builds yet another shipyard further back. And we see his bots still building more energy in his back line, which is great. We have some energy converters still at the top. Lots of metal left on the field. See, this is the issue. You can't do any damage to the economy with dolphins. They can kill the ships, but that's not going to do much. We see air coming in. Does he spot it? Nettles going up. The bombers will land their hits beforehand, though, probably. Yes, they will. Winds are well spaced out. No chain reaction there. However, there are no air defenses on this side. It's going to get those energy converters. Meanwhile, Goopy's comm. Bit of an issue. No underwater damage, though, coming from Ragnar, so he can't actually hit the commander. Meanwhile, bombers still doing their thing here. He's a bit too busy paying attention to his commander. That bomber will get killed now. Too big of a deal. Shuriken's coming in as well. Impeding what's left of the dolphins. Goopy may be in a bit of a tough spot here as the two submarines come in. Goopy needs to get his commander out of the water. Or at least micro it to dodge the torpedoes. Misses one. 3% health and Goopy goes boom. Well played, both players. I feel like Goopy needed to switch out of dolphins a lot sooner there. Other than that, Goopy did a great job at pushing really far up. It was just unlucky that the dolphins weren't really effective once Ragnar switched out to those assault frigates. But thank you all for watching. If you like these, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.